So whatever that we parents or you parents do at home, they take it along with them.
Meaning the school in Hamburg isn't the same as the school in Stuttgart.
Hello, Dr. Stephanie Siandesu, members of YAPA board, our proud parents, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is my single honor to welcome you all to today's program. I feel the need to let you know the purpose of our gathering this evening. We believe children are heritage from God, and we parents are caretakers of them, of which God will hold us responsible for every child given to our care. On this note, YAPA finds the need to explain 10 things that every parent should know. I personally know the challenges we parents are going through. We might not be eloquent in speaking German language and might not probably understand the German school system. But YAPA is here this evening to help us. So kindly entreat each and everyone to take notes that our able teachers are able to share with us, and feel free to ask any question that you don't understand. Thank you, and stay tuned for more vibes from our Vibe YAPA professionals. So we kindly ask the teachers on board to introduce themselves and let us know what they have for us. By the grace of God, we have our teacher Rosie and our sister Gifty on board, and some teachers too who are willingly to support us tonight. Let's give them a chance to share with us what they know about German education. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for the introduction. My name is Rosemary Jessen. I was born and raised in Germany, and I used to be a Sunday school teacher in the Church of Pentecost. In 2011, I did my A-level and started the university. I finished my university with the Master of Education in 2016. Moreover, I completed my training year as a primary teacher in 2018. Since 2018, I'm working as a certified primary teacher. People will ask me why I chose that job. To be honest, being a teacher was never my first option. I thought I will be a doctor, but then I realized what comes being a doctor, and I was used to taking care of my younger siblings. As I said, I was a Sunday school teacher and I was giving after school classes. So I thought, I'm already teaching my little sisters and other children, why not make it a job out of it? And since I've started it, I do not regret being a teacher. So yeah, I hand over to my sister Gifty.
Hello everyone. Hi, my name is Gifty. I grew up in Ghana and I came to Germany at the age of 13. So I've been staying here for like 17 years now. I'm also a Sunday school teacher. I've been teaching for the past 10 years, also in the Church of Pentecost. And by God's grace, I'm also the district Sunday school leader in my district. To God be the glory for that. And then I also did my A-level in the year 2009. And then I did my apprentice in healthcare, or we can call it also Gesundheits- und Krankenpflege, for 3 years, after which I worked in the field for 1.5 years. And then I switched to the apprenticeship of a nursery teacher. And that is where also I come in. I also have a lot of siblings, and I love to work with children. And that's where I came to this field of teaching. And I've been working as a nursery teacher since for the past 5 years now.
on board, and I give Sister Rosie a chance to share with us 10 points that every parent should know. Thank you. Sister Rosie, take over.
Yes, this program is not only hosted by my sister Gifty and myself, but we have also other nursery teacher like our sister Priscilla, or a primary teacher like our sister Barbara, and other people. So we might show our face, but we all will take you through this program and answer your question. With that being said, let's start the breakdown of the German school system. Every district in Germany has their school system, meaning the school in Hamburg isn't the same as the school in Stuttgart. However, they are all grounded on this illustration we are showing you right now. And they all start with the frühkindliche Bildung, means Krippe and kindergarten, where the kids start from the get-go. Means they go to Krippe from 0 to 3 or go to kindergarten from 3 to 6. Some districts have implemented Krippe and kindergarten together, so they start from 0 to 6. When they reach the age of 5, they start the school admittance checkup, means go to a school doctor where he or she check if they are prepared to go to school. After that, with the age of 6 and 7, they go to the primary school. Like I said, every district in Germany have their own school system, meaning Bayern, for example, still have the tree structure of the secondary school, means they have Mittelschule, Realschule, Gymnasium. District like Hamburg and Bremen, they only have 2, means Gymnasium, Stadtteilschule, oder Oberschule and Gymnasium. And you enter it after class 4, and some district after class 6. And if you enter the secondary school, there are 3 different graduations you can get. The lowest graduation you can get is called Berufsbildender Abschluss, also called Hauptschulabschluss. You get it after class 9. After class 9, you can decide if you want to go to work, you want to continue the school, or you do a Ausbildung. Mittlere Schulreife, you get it after class 10. After class 10, you also can decide, I'm going to the Gymnasialoberstufe and do my A-level, or you have been attending gymnasium from the get-go and your aim is to get the A-level. So this was a short, briefly introduction of how the school system is in Germany. Most frequent asked question is, should my child in the beginning after the kindergarten, should my child attend preschool at Kita or the school? But this question is also based or depends on which district you are. For example, if you live in Bremen, for me example, there is no preschool at a school, means all the preschool is in the kindergarten, but some district like Hamburg, you can decide that preschool will be at the school or at the kindergarten. The preschool is the preparation of the primary school. And like I said, every district is differently. And the other question most parents ask is, which school should my child attend after class 4 or 6? Which secondary school should he go? All this depends on the report the child brings over. Of course, the teacher will give you some advice, but in the end of the day, the report decides on the parent's choice, for example, which school your child go. Like I said, after Haupt, Real, or Gymnasium, you still can do other graduation, but it will take time. It doesn't mean that you won't get it. With that being said, let's start with 10 things parents should know. Our sister Gifty will start with rule number 1.
Yes, thank you. Rule number 1 is accountability. It's very important that the children comes to school or kindergarten regularly. The daily attendance of the children is very important. Why am I saying this? Because many other times we teach them a lot of topics. And if the child doesn't come to school regularly, it means he or she will be missing a lot of stuff. So that's why we encourage you parents or upcoming parents that please allow the children to come to school daily. Very, very important. And also the punctuality. If the child comes to school late or kindergarten late, for example, in my kindergarten, When they come late, we have already started our circle where we'll be talking about how the weekend was and that stuff. So if the child comes late and everything is being started, they find it very difficult to fit into what we are doing. So please, we encourage the parents to really, really bring their children punctual to school and also to kindergarten. And if in case the child will come to school late, please give us a call. Just inform us. Today the child is sick, or today there is an appointment, so we will be coming to school or kindergarten late. And also very important, if the child is sick, please call us, inform us, call the secretary of the school, call the secretary of the kindergarten, let us know how many minutes, if possible, so that we can also regulate, let me say, the teachings and know what we can do first and what we can do next. It's very, very important. And please, if the child is sick and you go to the doctor to see the doctor, they give you something like Entschuldigung, a letter, or let's say an excuse letter. So please, when you come, just hand it over to us so that we can also see that that's true that the child went to see the doctor. And please,
addition to what our sister just said, at school, every missing day is counted and written down. The missing day have reached an amount, the teacher is obligated to inform the authorities. If the number is too high, you can also pay something called Bußgeldverfahren, and they start up €100 going. So you will not only get the fine, but you will also be marked in their system for your child having a high missing days. So therefore, please try to reduce the number of the missing day. And as our sister just said, if he is sick or he is sick, go to the doctors, get something like this Entschuldigung, write it down in the house of Gamhef so that we know that the sick was very a sick day, not a day for you to relax and be at home. Yes.
Yes, thank you. And to the next point, our Elternabend, or we can also call it parent-teacher evening, is also obligated. It is important that please, when we give out letters to you that we are doing a parent-teacher meeting or parent-teacher evening, please make sure to attend. Why are we saying this? Because when you come, there are so many information that we give to you parents. And if you don't come, that means you are missing the information. And if you're missing the information, the child also misses a lot in the school or also in the kindergarten. And please, when you're coming to the Elternabend or to the parents teacher evening, it has come to our notice that many of our parents, we take our children to be the translator for the meeting, which is very, very bad. Because when you come to the meeting, you are talking about the child. And imagine you being a child and you are sitting down and somebody is talking about you. It is not a good feeling. So please take a translator, bring along a translator so that the person can translate everything that will be talking to you about your child to you. There is one thing that happened also in our when I was doing my FSU. We were doing a teachers meeting with the parents, and the child was being brought as a translator, and we were telling the child what we want to tell the mom, and the child was like explaining everything differently. So we said, oh, you are not good in this subject. The child will say, I am good in this subject. You say, oh, this is the area that the child needs to work on. The child will say, oh, mama, everything is so fine with me, don't worry. So, you know, the child will be translating sometimes the opposite things that we want the parents to know. That's why we truly encourage you parents that please find a translator who will translate it very well to you, and not the child coming along and translating a different thing to you. Then I hand over to the rule number 2, where our sister Rosie can also elaborate on.
Rule number 2 is healthy eating. Some of you would think, what does healthy eating to do with school? Healthy eating, as we all know, food gives us energy, gives us strength to do certain things. So it's very important that your child have a balanced eating habit. This means you as a parent must introduce your child to different types of fruits, vegetables, bread. We have white bread, brown bread, Schwarzbrot, like the German people. We have different types of bread and different types of grain. All these are healthy foods that will give your child the strength, the energy he needs to be concentrated, to be focused, and even observe the information. For example, I have a mom who came to the school and was complaining that the child doesn't like fruits and vegetables. And I asked the mom, do you eat this stuff at home? And she was like, nah, I really don't like it. And in my mind, I was like, if you don't like this stuff, how should your child eat this stuff and get the energy he needs or she needs? So it's very important that you implement this in your daily habit. You cut some apples, some mangoes, some strawberries.
Rosemary, can you let somebody translate it for the parents?
Translate it into which?
In Chi, please. Or because your English is running very, very, very fast. Or maybe you take your time.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll take your
Maybe
time.
you can speak at a lower pace.
Okay, no problem. Thank you for advising me. Thank you. As I said before, it's very important that our kids are used to a healthy eating habit, meaning different types of fruits, different types of vegetables, different types of bread. It gives them strength, energy for the school. This is very important if we come to rule number 3, the lunchbox. As you know, every child brings a lunchbox to the school. And we also said that the colorful the lunchbox is, the better it is for the child. It's good that the child have in his lunchbox some bread, some fruits, some vegetables, a bottle of water, or even a bottle of tea. It's better to have these kind of breakfast or lunchbox than having sweets or junk foods. There are some parents who doesn't have time in the morning. We do understand it. But buying croissant in the morning in the bakery is not enough. Imagine you working from 8 to 4 o'clock. The only thing you had was a croissant. It's not enough energy you can get during the day. So it's very important that your lunchbox, the lunchbox the kids have is mixed with vegetables, with fruits. And I think we have a picture of a lunchbox in our presentation. And this could be one lunchbox you can have for your child. And we ask you not to have some junk foods or other stuff in the lunchbox because, as I said, junk food might give you energy, but the energy you get is very low. And it also makes you tired during the day, make you gain weight. And it also causes you to have a lack of concentration. So therefore, it's very, very important to have a colorful breakfast. That being said, we're going to rule number 4.
Rule number 4 is personal hygiene. That consists of oral care. There is something that when I was young, my mother used to say, or for other Ghanaians on this board, used to say, when I wake up in the morning, I wash my face, I clean my teeth, I take my bath, I put on my clothes, and then I eat, and then I go to school. It is very important that we clean or brush the teeth of the children. And we know that children cannot really brush their teeth well. So we as parents, we can also re-clean it for them.
Amen.
The child can brush the teeth, and then within just 1 minute it is done. But actually, the Minister of Health says that we should take 3 minutes to brush our teeth. So please, if the child comes and says, Mom, I'm done. 1 minute, you just say, okay, child, come, let me just re-clean it for you. Because it's very important. And if you don't clean the teeth of the children, they come to school or kindergarten. Sometimes they have, kind of sense in their mouth, and we don't want the children to be bullied or to be teased in school or in kindergarten. So please, parents, please take care of those things. And also to the clothing. The clothing needs to be neat, fresh, and also have the right size. Imagine if you come and then you are wearing dresses that are over your size, that means that you'll be restricted in your movement. You will not feel comfortable. And then also if the clothes are not really fresh enough or not neat, children will be seeing, how open they are, how honest they are. And many other times they come to kindergarten or school and they will be teased at because they are smelling bad. And we want to avoid this. We want our children to be different from other children. So please take care of the clothes. And also to the point of activity, Sister Rosie will elaborate a bit on that, and I will continue with the hair.
Yes, activities. Let me give you an example. On a sunny day, I took my class for a walk. And of course, the sun was shining and the girl was wearing a very nice dress with ballerinas on it. We all know how ballerinas are. The shoe sole are very thin. So after a while, she could feel the ground underneath her feet. And she was complaining, oh, my tunve, or my feet are hurt. I don't want to walk anymore. If she would have worn appropriate shoes for the walk, she wouldn't have complained about her feet hurting. So it's very important and very, very important that the parents check what are the day-to-day activities in the school. If they're going to a walk, let me make sure that I give my child a shoe that have proper shoe sole so that if they walk for a while, she won't have pain in her shoes. If they go for a walk, let me put another jacket on it, on my child, or another pullover on it, so that if they take a long walk, he or she won't be freezing, or she's wearing appropriate clothes. So if we say appropriate clothes, it means make sure that your child is dressed according to what we are doing outside. Yes.
Now to the hair. We Africans, sometimes our hair grows, you would say a bunch of what? I don't know how to say it in English. It's not really combed well. So please, when they are coming to school, please comb their hair. And the younger girls, please let us place their hair well. Because when they come, their hairs are not neat. And then they will go like, the white, they are also very open. They will be saying that, look at the hair, or look at this hair, and that and that. And we want to avoid all these seasons. So please, let us make sure that we comb the hair. If it is plaiting of hair, we should really organize somebody to plait the hair. If we cannot do it on our own, let us organize someone to plait the hair for the children, also to cut the hair for the children. And when the children, when they get to this state of puberty, that's where they start, growing hairs in so many areas. And please, we encourage you. Maybe you would think that the child is just 5 years. I remember I had one girl in my kindergarten at the age of 5. She started growing hair. And then we had to talk to the parents to just, shave the hair for her, because when they are, in kindergarten, they can just remove themselves there. There is not, they are not really, they don't feel shy or ashamed when they show themselves. So please, let us take notice of that. Try and shave for the kids if they cannot do it on their own. Of course, if they can do it on their own, let us also expect that also that they will do it, because sometimes they do sport activities in the school. They are very active in the school. And when they sweat, and we know that a dry sweat really has this kind of odor. So then they will start developing body odor, and that is very, very bad. So please let us take care of that and encourage ourselves. Yes. Then we will move on to rule number 5, and Sister Rosie will take over.
Rule number 5 is multi-language at home. If we say multi-language at home, your child is surrounded by different language. Your child is surrounded, for example, if you come from Ghana, from German, English, maybe French, Spanish, another language. So you are raising your child in a multi-language surrounding. Therefore, you as the parent have to decide which language are we speaking at home. And if you have chosen the language, try to speak the language fluently to your child. Because studies have shown that if a child is able to speak and read in his or her mother tongue, the child most likely won't have any trouble learning another language. Meaning, if the child has a foundation in one language, he or she can continue to add new languages to his skills. If the child doesn't have any foundation in any languages, he or she is struggling with learning another language. Therefore, one, make sure you decide which language you speak at home, and make sure this language is the language you use if you have conversation with your child. If you are speaking in the language, make sure you consistently speaking the language and reply in the language. Because your child is surrounded by many languages, sometimes it might ask you a question in German or English, but make sure you reply in the same language as your child. So this means if your child speaks to you in English, reply in English. If your child speaks to you in Twi, replies in Twi. But make sure that afterwards, you still speak the language you chose in your household. So the child knows, okay, this is the language we're speaking at home. I can speak different language at home, but this is the language I need to respond to my parents. And it's also very important that if you speak the languages, make sure it's full sentence. And when I say full sentence, don't ask questions like, have you eaten? Yes. Have you showered? Yes. There's no need for me to come up with a sentence because it's a yes and no question. But if you ask me, oh, what is the funniest thing you did today? And I'm forced to use my vocabulary I have. But if only conversation we have is yes, no, nine, this and that, your child is not used to speaking in full sentences. And this also hinder him to get more vocabulary to actually speak in a full sentence. Moreover, don't forget that your child is surrounded by many languages. Therefore, every child has a different speaking progress. Means some children will learn to speak language very quick. Some will take their time, will say short words or short sentences. This is not a problem. Just make sure you continue to interact with your child, you motivate your child to speak in the language. And as I said, the child is surrounded by a lot of language. So of course, it will mix the language. For example, my sister never knew how to say bread in German. So she would be like, Mama, please, can I have Arno, please? So it's used for her because she forgot the word in our language, so she switched it. That's normal. But you as a parent have to make sure you are consistent in the language you choose. Do not mix the language, because if you start mixing the language, the child thinks it's okay to mix the language while speaking. And this will hinder him to learn the language appropriate. So therefore, make sure you speak fluently, you translate the language, and you reply in the same language as you choose to. That being said, we are going to rule number 6.
Yes. Rule number 6, providing a good child-friendly environment at home. We know that children, as the point number 1, to be a role model for your child. Children are really God made that they are open to everything. They soak a lot of things in their surroundings, in their environment. So whatever that we parents or you parents do at home, they take it along with them. And that you can see when they come to kindergarten or when they go to school, there is a place that we have, a corner place that we have in the kindergarten called the doll corner. That is the place that they can imitate you parents. So let's say that maybe Esther is a child, comes to kindergarten, and Esther is experiencing a lot of things at home. This is the corner that Esther will be expressing herself. she will say that I am the mother. And the way the mother talks at home, that is exactly what the child, or exactly how the child will also talk in that corner. So they imitate you, parents. So it's very, very important that at home, whatever that you do, the way you talk, the way you speak with them, your behavior, it should be very, very appropriate. If you always shout on the child, when the child comes to kindergarten, in that corner where he or she can express him or herself, that is how he or she is going to do. Then she starts shouting because the mom shouts at home. Or when the mom is like always on telephone, the child comes in that corner, takes the telephone and always talking. So please let us really, really, really take that into consideration. That whatever that we are doing at home, the children are always copying. You will be so surprised. You will be so surprised that one day a teacher will say, come into the school or kindergarten undercover and see how your child is behaving there. Whatever that they are experiencing at home, that is exactly what they do in kindergarten or school. So please find a way to talk to them. Appropriate way to talk to them. Your behavior, how you cope with others, because you are really, 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 really learning everything. And also,
our sister if they have some technology problem. I will continue with point number 3. Point number 3 is game. If we say playing games or other things, what we mean is playing games is not only fun, but playing games is also education. I brought a game along with me. Some of you know it, called Memory, for example. In this game, you must find 2 cards that match with each other. Like I'm showing you right now, you have to look for cards that are matched. You have to match them. So in this game, you are forced to concentrate because you have to put the cards down and then you have to look which card is matching which one. And at the same time, you have to memorize where you saw the item of this picture and where the other could be. So this means you are not only playing a game, you are concentrated, you are focused, you are training your memory, you're training where the things are laid down. So playing game is not playing game, it's also developing skills. And like I said before, the language with this memory card, you can also talk with them. For example, you can ask your child, oh, what do you see on the card? It will be like, oh, I see a girl with orange hair and the pink t-shirt and stuff like that. So the card also give you a chance to have a conversation with your child and also making sure that your child trains his speaking progress and also trains other stuff. And with other stuff, I mean social skills. Because this is a board game, you need other people to play with you. So your child learns how to behave around other people, how to play with other people, how to share things with other people. And also because it is a game, automatically one of the players will lose and some of them will win. One will win and some of you will lose. And the child is also learning that losing and winning is a part of life. And also, it's not bad or it's not the end of the world if you lose. If I say that, we have a saying in the African world, especially if you are Christian, you are the head, not the tail. You are always the first and not the last. And when it comes to the class, you always see if a child loses, it's like he gets angry, throwing stuff around. I can't lose, I have to be the winner and because he's not used of losing. And losing doesn't mean that you have failed something. Losing, yes, in that moment you fail something, but it also gives you the chance to think about it, you strategize and start again to make sure that the next time you win something. So playing games is not just playing game, but it's also have educational background in it. Point number 4 is building good interaction with your child's teacher. Yes, you are the parent. are the first role model in your child's life. But we do not forget that also the teachers are a part of the child's life. When I'm saying that, there are some parents, I have witnessed some parents who had a very, very bad interaction with the teacher, and the child saw it. And automatically, the child behaves like a mother because he loves his mother and thinks what his mother or dad is doing is right. So you saw that the child start misbehaving in the class because, okay, mama and the teacher doesn't like each other, so I have to be team mama. I have to protect mama, and if the teacher talks, I'm ignoring her. With that, you are destroying the relationship between the teacher and the child. It's very, very important that you, as a parent, you have a good relationship with your child's teacher. And even if you don't like that person, don't make it visible to your child, because especially in the primary school, if they don't like the teachers, studying with them get difficult. They be like, oh, I don't like her, so what she's telling me, I don't want to hear. And that you are hindering your child to move forward. Yes, with routine number 5, I think Gifty is back. She can continue with that.
Yes, I'm so sorry. My internet just broke down, but I'm here by God's grace. All right, then let me continue with the point number 5, the routine. It is very important for children to have a structured day. Let's say the child goes to kindergarten or to school and then comes back. There should be a structure for the child that when I come home, I would just, freshen myself. I would eat something, then I would do my homework. I would take a nap, and then this and that and that and that. So it's very, very important that we keep those things into consideration because children need a structured day. Moreover, when it is time for the child to go to bed, let's say 8 o'clock in the evening, please let us start preparing the child also for work, for bed, because there are a lot of things that we can do for them. For example, you reading a bedtime story for them, so that the children will also calm down. We know that it's so stressful for you parents when you go to work like 8 hours, and some of the children, they're also like 8 hours in schools and also in kindergartens. When they also come home, they need to relax, they need to be calmed down, and all these things can also help them. Reading a story to them, listening to even a audio story, or also listening to music, anything that the child feels like doing that will calm he or she down. So please let us make sure to that we can also find a kind of routine for the children, because it really, really, really helps them. Then we move on to rule number 7, and Sister Rosie will take over.
Rule number 7 is media exposure, especially now in the Corona time. We have seen that TV, iPad, PlayStation, social media have taken a big role in the children's life. Of course, they are good for entertainment, but also they have some danger into it. If I say they have some danger into it, there are some programs on the TV, even on the iPad or PlayStation, that are not child friendly, and the child is watching it or playing it. So therefore, it's very, very important, first of all, that you know what your child is watching, know what your child is doing watching on the TV, doing on the iPad, or even playing on the PlayStation. If you buy a game for your child, for example, for the PlayStation, make sure it's the appropriate age group you are buying. Don't buy a game that is up 12, but your child is 6 years, saying this game is not that bad. You never know what is in the game and how the game is structured. So make sure you observe and watch what your child is doing on the media. Next off, make sure you limit the time the child is on the iPad and the TV. There are some children who can sit in front of the TV from morning to evening, and even if they go to bed, they still watch TV. Make sure you limit the TV time, and make sure there is no TV in the children's room. make sure that all the media staff are in the living room where you can have an eye on it and you can see what they are doing. And make sure you talk about it. If they're watching it, talk about it. Or for example, most of the kids in my class love Peppertron, and it would be like, oh, the dog does this and this and this and this. So you know what your child is doing that is not watching it. And like I said, make sure if they go to bed, there is no TV time or no TV inside, and you take all the media out. If I say all the media out, there was a kid in my class, when the mom put the child to bed, she would come out and take the iPad and would be playing and chit-chatting. And accidentally, she sent me a message around 1 o'clock in the morning. And I told the mom, and she was surprised because she thought her child is sleeping. So make sure all the media staff are out of the children's room. Yes, we are now coming to rule number 8.
Rule number 8, establishing relationship with other parents. There are two relationships that are very, very important when you take school and also kindergarten into consideration. Establishing a relationship between the parents and also between the child and another child. Let us start with the parents to parents. We organize also PTA, as I said earlier on, some meetings for you. And when you parents, when you come, this is where we can also exchange, you can exchange contacts with the other parents. You can see and also get to know the other parents, because the children comes at home and they'll be talking about other children. But if you don't know the parents of their children, you will be like, oh, what are you talking about? But if you come to parents meeting associations and then you see the parents, you will go like, oh, so this is Esther's mom. Oh, this is Isaac's dad. And you also find, a kind of relationship. You will build up a kind of relationship with the parents. And also, as we know, most of us, maybe we are Ghanaians, but in the kindergarten or in schools, we also have other children coming from other countries like Nigeria, we have Kenya, we have Senegalians, we have many, many countries. So when you come, you will see also their doings, you will see how they behave, and then you can also see the way when your child tells you about another child, you can also have the idea of what your child is really talking about. And also a relationship between a child and a child. We also organize in the kindergarten, and I hopefully also hope they also do it at schools, where the children can also have interaction with themselves. And many of us parents, many of you parents, you go like, why is it that my child is always talking about this child? Why is it that my child is always talking about this child? It's very important to children that they also build up relationship with other children. You can find also free time, go out with the child, some outdoor activities, something like sports. I know a lot of children in my kindergarten, after kindergarten, they are being also taken to other sports activities where they meet other children, they come in contact with them, they talk to each other, they share their experiences. And that is also very, very important to children, that they will also build up contact with other children. And also, some children comes home and they will say that, oh, today I'm invited to, let's say, Esther's birthday party. And we blacks, we go like, you always like parties, but it's important to them. It shouldn't be like every day going to a birthday party, but once in a while, if the invitation comes out, you know the parents already, since you have been coming to Parents Teachers Association, so you know them, and then you can also entrust your child your children to the other parents, because there will also be a time where other children will be coming also to the birthday of your children. So please, let us give them the chance, because they need it. They don't always have to be at home with you parents alone, but they also want to have experience with other children and also build up new contacts with other children. And there is also one aspect that we Black parents, we are very, very, very conspicuous about, is like when the kid comes and say, today I've been invited by Esther to sleep over, we will go like, no. For what reason? The child. We will give up our reasons that we want, but please, let us allow them
You can just put them on let me say, a pupil. Let them go, do the sleepover. They will come back home. They will tell you how it was. And then you can also bring out your conclusion and say, okay, it's worked well. It did not work well. And then you can also find solutions on how best you can help the kids in sleeping over. It shouldn't also be like every weekend, some other child will invite the child to go and sleep over, but then at least once in a while, because I know the children, they have been doing it, let them do it, because it really, really helped them. And also regarding the class trips, it is also very, very important, and sometimes also very obligated, that the children have to attend the class trips that we will be taking with the children. And when they come, they will also see other children. They will be talking and sharing experiences with other children. That helps in building up the relationship, establishing also the relationship between the children. Then we move on to rule number 9. And this is the advice that I will give to you parents, since I am in the field of taking care of your children when they are young, when they are very, very small in the kindergarten. We, the teachers, we are there not to train your child to be something else. We are there to help them in the basic things. For example, we teach them how they can lace their shoes, how they can zip their jackets, how they can put on their clothes, how they can use their cutleries, how they can behave, how they can talk. But then we know that charity begins at home. You parents, you are the main people, the most important people in the children's lives. And we teachers, we are just supporting you. We are just helping you so that the children can also grow up to become the children that God really wants them to be. Because children are gifts from God, and God has given these children to you. So you have to also treat them in the way that they should grow. And when they grow, they will not depart from it. So don't take us teachers to be teaching everything that you expect your child to be. No. For example, me, I'm a nursery teacher. I'm not the one teaching your children to be what you want your children to be. You are the parents in charge of the upbringing of your children. So you do it, and we support you. We assist you in doing all things. In the kids, the most important thing for us is the child come and have fun. Ours is just fun. We have fun. We have fun in playing games. We have fun in doing everything. So please, it's not coming and we will be teaching them A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3. No, we are not doing that. And Rosie will come later to talk to you more about it. But in my department, in my field as a nursery teacher, we are not doing any teachings as in like the child has to learn 2 + 2 is 4, 10 times 10 is 100. No. So for your information and the kind of advice that I would like to give it to you. And please also, if the children or if the teachers, we organize PTA meetings, please make sure to attend. Make sure to attend. If not both parents will be able to come. Even one parent is also good. Come and see and come and listen, because such meetings, we acquire knowledge concerning the behaviors of your children at home, concerning the upbringing of your children at home, so that we can cope with you. And if there is any question, anything bothering you, this is the time that you can open up to us. You talk to us, and if there is any support, we can give out contact to you. You can call, because I remember that one child was misbehaving, frankly speaking, misbehaving in the kindergarten. And the parents was like, why is it that my child is like this, is different from the other children, and that, and that, and that. And later on, we found out that the child was suffering from a kind of disease. The parents didn't know, they weren't aware of that, and they couldn't also understand why the child is behaving like this. So such meetings, you come, you tell us the behaviors of the children. We will give you advices. We will tell you what to do. And if it is more than our understanding. We have many people who are specified in so many areas who can help the child in their development and also in so many areas. And also we can also find out how the family constellation is at home, the structure of the family at home. Many other times, maybe the child will not have mother and the father living in the same house. The child will be living, let's say, 1 week with the father, 1 week with the mother. And then every parent has their own way of bringing up a child. So when the child is 1 week with the father and comes to kindergarten, we will know that, oh, this week was a week for the child. And then the mother's week for the child, you know the differences. But if you don't tell us, it is very difficult for us. But if you tell us, then we can understand the behaviors of your child, and then we can also help in their development. Then we move on to rule number 10, and Sister Rosie will take over.
Now, rule number 10 is about children who are in the primary school. And we have seen that most problems kids have in the primary school is about homework and routine. And I will start with homework. Homework is defined as exercise. They have to do it at home, means they have been subject taught in the school by the teacher, and they are getting the homework to practice it, to be good in that subject. So if your child gets homework, every child gets homework. Either do it in the Ganstag, means you have register your child in the Ganstag, so he will eat at the school and do the homework. But some children are not in the Ganstag. They come home after 1 o'clock or 12 o'clock and come home. If your child is coming home and is doing his homework, first of all, make sure he gets a quiet place. If I say quiet place, a place where a table is there, a chair is there, and all the stuff he needs to do the homework, and nobody is walking around, cooking in the back, doing phone calls in the back, or siblings walking around, or a TV there, because the child is now exercising the things he has done at school, practice it. So make sure no media in the background, and make sure it's limited. If I say limited, there are some children who are slow in their study. That's normal. There are some kids who are very quick and very slow. Don't frustrate your child by telling him you are doing the homework till it's done. There are some children who have some difficulties with that. So make sure you limit the time. If your child is still in the primary school, don't let him sit, don't let she or she sit on homework more than an hour. If after an hour your child is not done, write a note, or even come to school and be like, oh, it was too hard for my child. Can you do something about that? With that, you are giving us information that, oh, maybe where I taught the subject or the topic, the child did not understand it. So let me try to figure out another way to make sure the next time he gets homework, we get it. And another thing is support. If I say support, as we know, the German language is not fluent with everyone. That's okay. But this doesn't excuse you for helping your child, because there are some parents who say, oh, I don't know the language, I won't help. But it's your child and his educational path is in your hand. So try to sit next to your child, ask him what is he doing, let him explain it to you. Try to motivate him, to hype him. And if you see that he doesn't understand it, write the email to the teacher or come to school with the German you can say and say, my child couldn't make it. And if you see he's struggling, look for an after-school teacher, or even talk with the teacher about the after-school teacher and teaching. So you guys work hand in hand to support your child, because if you don't support your child with the homework, what is the exercise of the subject he learned at school, he will get difficulties to learn other things. That's why make sure you support your child. As our sister said before, routine is very important. Children need structure. If your child comes back from school, let him know what he or she needs to do. You're coming to eat, you're coming to take a bath, you're allowed to watch TV for 10 minutes, you are going to do your homework. After the homework, there will be time to exercise, means you're going to read something to me, or you're reading something to your little sister, you're going to do some mass tasks, some little structure. He knows at this time I'm doing this and that and this. Then he goes to bed around 8 and 9. It's very important that your child knows structure, because with the structure, he gets safety. With the safety, it helps him to understand things more, and he is used to getting some exercise time that helps him in his studies. With that being said, we have introduced to you all 10 points that we think is needed for your child. As we said, first is the accountability. Make sure your child attends school. If not, make sure you inform us. Make sure that your child has a healthy, balanced eating, because eating and foods are giving your child the energy he needs. Make sure the lunchbox is properly filled so that he can survive the whole day. Make sure your child has neat clothes, you have combed his hair, you have put some lotion on his skin, especially Black people, we have some sensitive skin. Make sure you have put some lotion on it. Be aware that your child is raised in many languages and it comes with pros and cons. Make sure that your child has a good environmental, meaning everything you do, your child is copying it. Manage the media exposure at home. Make sure you limit TV and the iPad time your child have. Make sure you have a good relationship with parents and with children, and build relationship of connection. As our sister used to give you some advice about the nursery, you also remember the advice I gave you when it comes to primary school. Yes, with that being said, we introduce you to all 10 points, and we are now coming to the questions round. If you have questions, you can put it into the chat, or you raise your hand and then we pick you, and all the teachers who are on the platform right now, we ask you to join us and help us to answer the questions.